Hey there, welcome to the Vital Blend. I am Anthony, and today I just wanted to come on and make you think about something that only humans do. Now, I've talked before about, humans are the only species that do this or that. There's a lot of things that you can come up with, but here's one that I haven't mentioned before. Humans are the only species to come up with their own food. All right, we're the only species on the entire planet that have their own product line. We don't need to be eating from nature. What if squirrels had their own product line? They would be eating their own food. They wouldn't need to go out and run around the yard and run up trees looking for nuts, expose themselves to predators, when they can just sit in a tree hole or wherever it is that they hang out and they can just eat their own food. What would that mean for squirrels or for any animal that had its own product line? They would eat less from the natural world and they'd be eating more processed food made in a laboratory. And this is not what an animal should be eating. Animals need to be eating from nature. They need to be eating natural foods. Okay, and how does an animal know what to eat? Well, they reach out, they grab it, they put it right in their mouth. That's called instinct. That's what animals do. And they grab other animals or they grab fruits and vegetables, whatever it is that they can find, bugs, depending on the animal. And so we need to look at this. We need to look at nature more and observe it because it tells a lot about what we should be doing. Human food. Natural food is the kind of food that we would pick up, put it into our mouth, and eat it. This is why I say that meat is not our food, because you wouldn't just go pluck an animal out of nature and stick it in your mouth and eat it and have it raw, blood guts and all. That's not in our nature. We like food like meat when we go to the grocery store, but that's a joke. That's just marketing and advertising and selling you short. You need to understand that the foods that you would reach out and grab and eat are fruits and vegetables. That should be a no-brainer. But we don't eat as many of those foods now because we've made our own foods. We got ding-dongs and yoo-hoos. So when we stop eating from nature and we eat more of these processed foods, we're eating foods that are low in water, low in fiber, low in nutrients. It does us a disservice because those are the three things that we actually need that we get from the foods found in nature. And so we're starting to slowly kill ourselves, really, when you think about it. It's kind of a slow death, a slow rot. We put on weight slowly, things start to break down slowly, and then this is when we get bad news, or we feel like one day we got to make a change because we finally reach a point, our breaking point, which is determined by a lot of different things, our genes, our lifestyle, or are we smoking, or are we sedentary, whatever. There's all kinds of things that go into it. But the more you eat of food made in a laboratory, made in a plant, and not from plants found in nature, your health will vary. And eventually, you'll probably fall off the rails. And so it's important to recognize this, that we as humans need to be eating natural foods. That's what we are wired for. You've probably heard about dopamine, and anytime we eat foods that we like, we have more and more dopamine made. This is a survival mechanism so that we as humans are incentivized to eat, to seek out higher calorie foods so that we can live to the next day. All right, but we are being taken advantage of when you start inventing foods that don't exist. We start to develop unnatural cravings from unnatural calories, which give us unnatural desires. All right. I want you to think about this when the natural world meets the unnatural world. Have you ever seen a cat or a dog look at itself in the mirror for the very first time? It kind of freaks them out. They don't know what to make of it. As far as they know, they just see another animal. That's what they see. How did this animal get here? I'm pretty good. I even marked my territory over there, and, I didn't smell another animal. I didn't see another one coming. How is it that this animal is in the house? What's going on? And it's very much like that. There's like a reconciliation that just can't be made there. And this is your brain kind of going crazy, eating foods that don't exist in nature. I'm going to show you a video of a bear coming upon a mirror in the forest. And you want to talk about getting freaked out. This bear looks into this mirror and it's thinking that there's another bear there. How did this bear get there? All of a sudden, there's another bear. And it's thinking it's got to fight. It's got to deal with this. And it goes absolutely crazy. It's looking behind the mirror. It pulls the mirror down. This is you trying to get off these highly addictive foods. Your brain, like I said, is wired for the natural world. You eat ice cream cones and you start eating processed foods and you try to get off of these foods and you can't You just can't say, I've heard so many people say, I can't get off the Diet Coke. I can't get off the cheese. This is your brain on barbecue chicken. You know, I can't get off of it. This is your brain on cheese. I can't get off the cheese. It's understood that you would have a problem. And I want you to know that it's understood that you would have an issue trying to get away from these foods is because you are in an unnatural place, unnatural cravings. And so if you want to get off of these foods, I would say, how does the alcoholic break free from the alcohol and become sober? How does the drug addict break free from drugs and become clean? They got to get off of this stuff. You wouldn't tell the alcoholic, hey, just knock it down to 1 drink a week. You tell the drug dealer, the drug user, hey, just 1 hit a week and you'll be fine. You got to get off of it totally. And people will say, well, don't compare food to drugs and everything. Look, I have seen more families and lives wrecked and devastated by foods than I ever saw it from drugs and alcohol. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm in the wrong place. I'm not in with the right people, but and you probably know this too. You've seen a lot of people that you know of lose their lives or become immobile, whatever, due to food, eating the wrong diet, poisoning themselves slowly with food made in a plant that they should not be eating. And it is a slow downhill slide. And so if you are struggling with processed food, I want you to know that there's a reason for it and there's a way out. And this is part of what I do. I help people to come to terms with this and recognize it. There's an education, there's a strategy, there has to be a plan for getting off of these foods. Some people do it 100% cold turkey, they just get off of it, and some people need to wean themselves. But you've got to have a plan. You've got to recognize that the only way that you will appreciate what your body and your brain is wired for, which are natural foods, the only way that you can fully appreciate those foods is to get away from these unnatural cravings, the unnatural calories. So if this is something that you struggle with and you want help with it, let me know, okay? Reach out to me. My contact info is below. This is part of what I do. And if there are foods that you can't get away from and you're struggling with, drop it down below. Let's talk about what you are finding to be the hardest part about giving up these foods. Maybe you've already given up these foods. How hard was it for you? What did you have to do? What kind of plans did you have to put into place to get these types of foods out of your diet? Drop it down below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. And just know that I want you to love yourself, okay? This is where it all starts. When you love yourself, you want better things for yourself, and you will take care of you, okay? And I want you to eat more plants, and I'll see you next time.